Dear students, welcome you all for the session 4. So in this session we are going to discuss what are the various effects of cash deficit. So what is the outcome of cash deficit? What happens if there is a cash deficit in an organization? So the first one, restriction on business operation. So what happens when you don't have sufficient cash? It will automatically create internal problems in the organization. Okay, company will not have sufficient money to make the payments, sufficient money to buy the materials, sufficient money to pay for packaging, sufficient money to pay the salaries, wages. So this will automatically restrict on the business operation. Company has to reduce the business operation to a extent to an extent where they have sufficient cash. So this is the crucial or one of the main problem of cash deficit. Then sale of assets. So if you don't have any cash in the organization, then the company will look for the alternatives, how the cash can be generated. For example, government, when they prepare the budget, when the revenue is less than the expenditure, then they will go for what? They will go for the one major alternative is to take the loan, and another one is to sell the assets that they have. So they will sell the shares of the companies, public sector companies. In the same way, here also in the company also same thing. When they don't have sufficient cash, they will look for loan, but the companies, the banking institution will not sanction the loan that much easily. So next option is to sell the assets that they have. Then the emergency raising of loans and advances. So here, when you don't have cash, sufficient cash, okay, but you have to run the business, okay, you have to produce the products as per the orders, okay, otherwise it will create a image, okay, company image will be under loss. So here something you have to do. So one emergency action that you will go and raise the loans and advances from the company, from the banks. If the banks are not providing, then you will go for merchant bankers. So if merchant bankers are not, if the company will go for financing institutions, small financing institutions, then NBFCs. So they have so many other alternatives. So what happens here, when you raise the additional loans, the burden is reduced. Tomorrow you have to pay the interest. So for paying the interest, you should have sufficient cash. Then restriction on growth and expansion. So here, when you don't have sufficient cash, sufficient amount to run the business, you cannot think of expanding the business. So no companies will think about expanding the business rather than selling their business when they don't have cash. So definitely it will affect the growth of the company. So growth is the fundamental objective for company, but here companies cannot grow because they don't have sufficient cash. Then distressed sales. So what is distressed sales? So here distressed sales in the sense, when certain assets or certain stocks or some properties are sold swiftly, or in the sense in an urgent manner, okay, or at a loss. For example, the worth of the building is 10,000, 1 lakh, but you are selling it for 60,000. Then this sale is called a distressed sale. That means you have to sell that building for more than 1 lakh, but because of the cash deficit, because of the urgency in selling it, you will sell for whatever the cost, okay, that you will get, or that the other person, that the buyer will demand. So he will definitely demand for lesser value and you have to sell it. So that is called a distress sale. So it is a huge loss for the company. Then loss of goodwill. So what happens ultimately, when you don't have the cash, that message will go to everyone. It will go to the bankers, it will go to your creditors, suppliers, it will go to your employees, everyone. So everyone will think that you are not running the show properly, you are not managing the business properly. It will create a wrong image on the business. So employees will go away, the credit suppliers will not give the credit, bank will not give the credit, and then ultimately company may go for insolvency. So these are the various effects of cash deficit. So thank you for watching this video.